HTML related form elements. We discussed about how do we use. We learned about box, sort down, list box, and text area and meter. We discussed about meter element also. Next, in the form elements, a few more things you should know is another is progress. We have a progress element. Actually, progress is nothing but it is used to show the status of any task performed in page. So which includes downloading or uploading, or installing, etc. All these process you can show using progress. So generally progress is used for showing any task performed in application. Suppose you are making some transaction, you are doing some downloading, you see a progress will come. These days people are using spinners and all, means they are using like circle spinning. So traditionally HTML don't have spinners. It have only an option called progress. Syntactically progress is same like that. Progress we have to do the min, so max and value. These are the options available progress. Generally progress is controlled by using JavaScript. By using JavaScript, we control the progress. We handle the animations and all. Later in JavaScript, we will use them dynamically. So in HTML, what is the design for progress is this. So we are having a simple data list. Data terms, suppose preparing for download. Then usually we have a progress like this. So I will keep a style. Progress width as some 200, height as some 30. Generally a progress looks like this. You see a progress looks like this. That is progress bar. We control this progress bar with JavaScript. Manually we can't control. That means gradually increasing 5%, 10%. I think I have some another. I will show you in future we can do that. So how the progress works. So usually the progress bar these are having some timer related. Yeah, somewhere the event may be there. Math API. These are all general things. So check box or something. Okay, somewhere these are there. I will means anyhow later we will see. I'm just checking in any of our previous classes projects we are having that progress related options. Yeah, I think somewhere it is there. Later I will show that. What you can do is generally we can manage debots. Yeah, we can manage these progress by using JavaScript. That means what we do is we define the values for them. Suppose we have some 30% download. Then usually what we do, so here we have a progress and min is equal to 1, max equal to 100 and value is equal to how much? 30. If I show like this, then the progress will display like that. Generally through JavaScript, what we do is gradually we show this increasing. And here the percent will be changing like 35, 40, 50 like that we will implement in JavaScript. Generally to show complete download, that means download complete something. How we define, we will use a progress. Min is 1, max is 100 and value is 100. That shows the 100% download here. These days people are not much using this. They are using spinners. Later in Bootstrap we can design. Actually these days what you do, you see people are using spinners. Spinners means they look like this. These are the spinners, you know them. So people are not using progress very much. Using these spinners. These spinners are not in HTML. Spinners can be designed by using Bootstrap. We can create those spinners. So if any task is performed in the page, it is taking some time. We show the status by using this progress. Right? That's a very simple option how we can manage progress. So you have the progress related options. So progress can define with min and max and value. Suppose I give 20 here. So this is a 6 bar. Now another important in the elements, we are having another element label. We have a element called label. Usually label it is used to display captions for elements in page. Generally labels are used for displaying captions for elements in page. So actually labels advantage is label can use binding technique that allows the developer to bind any element with caption. Label allows a binding technique that allows the developer to bind any element with caption. So usually labels are important for displaying titles and captions. I will show here the correct traditional way of designing a form. Means how actually a form traditionally designed. See, suppose we are having a form element. In this, I kept a heading, register user. And below this, we need to display some categories like username, password categories. How traditionally a form is designed? What are the elements used? To create a form traditionally, every category is kept in a container. Every category have one division. In that division, it will have a label. This label tells what is the field. Field is user name. We don't use spans or other divs. We directly use a label. What is the speciality of label? I will tell you. Below that label, we put a container div. In that, we put a text box. Input type is text. This text box have a name, user name. Now this label is connected to this text box by using an attribute called, we have to use a data binding attribute for. It should work for user name. That means it refers to the reference name. Now the label and the text box are connected. What is advantage of this connection is, later if there is any error in the username, we can highlight both. We can highlight the text box and we can highlight the label connected to the text box. So that means now label is binded with that user. That is a binding technique. So this is generally used in the modern web design. So when you create a form, every field will have a label. Usually we use these labels. This is one category. It will display like this. You are designing another category. So every category will have a div. In this, we have a label. This is password. This label should work for whom? Password, and a div input type is equal to password and its name is password. And you see it looks like this. Between every category, some space, labels we can highlight. So many other things I will show you. We will do that. Traditionally, a form is designed like this. Traditionally, a form is designed with categories like this. So we put another category div. Here we need to put button like login and all. You can add like this. Spaces and all we will adjust. In the next level, I will show you how we can keep the alignment and everything perfect. But the traditional way of designing forms requires every category name mentioned with what? Labels. So the binding expression, actually, the attribute used for binding with element is for. We have to use that for. So traditionally we design like this. Div, we have a label for. Label for username. And this is username and close label. And you keep another container with some input type is text. And name is username. That is the traditional way of designing any category inside form. Every category in the form is designed in this way. So labels are important for making the validations good in future. In future, when you learn validations, these labels are very important. So binding will always allow to highlight them. So that is label. Another important in the form elements. So this example I will give into the classroom code. This is the example for labels, how we can work with the labels. That's an example. Now in the forms, one more important is in the forms, another major concept is buttons. How we can use buttons. What is the purpose of a button? Don't say click. Huh? What is the purpose of button? Submitting anything else? Perform action. Actually, buttons purpose is button is used to confirm user actions. Button is used for confirming an user action. Confirming an user action means how user confirms that he want to close, how user confirms that he want to submit, how user confirms that he want to cancel, how user confirms that he want to save. That means all the confirmations are done by using a button. Buttons are used for confirming actions. So actually, buttons in HTML are classified into two types. We have generic buttons and non-generic buttons. Non-generic buttons. We have two types of buttons. Generic buttons are there, non-generic buttons. What is difference is generic buttons are the buttons which have some predefined functionality. These buttons have some predefined functionality. That means you just add a button, automatically they have some work. They do some work. You don't need to write functionality, automatically they work. That means, so generic buttons are configured with predefined functionality. Generic buttons are configured with predefined functionality. That means already functionality is defined. Just use them. That means these buttons have some work to perform. And usually you don't need to mention what work to perform. They have some work to do. Again, here, two types are there. You can design generic buttons using HTML4 and HTML5. People use both of them. That means, again, so HTML4 generic buttons, we design like this. Input type is equal to submit. It is a generic button. And input type is equal to reset. These two are generic buttons of HTML4. In HTML4, the buttons are defined by using input type. What is the problem with this is, so they can have value. That means a button can have value. Value is RC data type. Value is RC data type means button can have a value, but that value cannot have symbols, images. That means only plain text. Plain text we can have. So same generic buttons we can design by using HTML5. HTML5 generic buttons are designed as button type as submit. And here we can have text, we can have image, we can have graphic, anything. And button, because it is just like a div. We can have another input type is what? Reset. Button type as reset. You can have text, you can have image, you can have graphics, anything you can have. Graphics means animations or anything you can keep. So what is difference is HTML5 buttons can display images inside them. They can display icons, symbols inside them. HTML4 buttons, they cannot. And why they are called generic buttons? Because they have a ready-made functionality. What is that ready-made functionality is a submit button can submit the form data to server, and a reset button can reset the form data. Means it will cancel the data. You see, I will show you both here. First, I am creating a button here. Inside the form, we kept a button. Temporarily, I am just using a break, okay, so that you can see. One is enough, yeah. Now you can see here, I am entering some name. I am entering some password. And you see, currently I am using only button. This is HTML5. Let's keep HTML4 buttons. Input type is equal to submit. And input type is equal to reset. And what speciality is, automatically these buttons have some value also, like submit and reset. If you want to change these words, you can change. That means you can say value for submit as login. You can say value for reset as what? Cancel. Like this we can give. But they are submit buttons and reset buttons. Name is different. You see now what is the speciality. You entered some name, you type some password, and you click cancel, they are reset. We are not writing any functionality. Automatically it is having some functionality. So that means this button is not given with any functionality. Cancel button is a button. It is having a predefined functionality. We are not writing anything extra functionality here. Button also. Submit button also have the ability. You saw already from so many days. When I click this button, it submits the data. You see, it submits the data in the URL because currently the form method is what? Get. So these buttons have a predefined functionality. You can use input type submit reset. But what is problem is, suppose I want to display some icon here. Cancel some icon or some image we want. You can't display that. So HTML4 buttons will not allow icon symbols inside them. HTML5 buttons, you can do that. So what I will do here, I will copy this code. And this is for HTML4. This is generic. Okay, let's clean this now. Okay. And now let's design the same buttons again. But this time button type is equal to submit. This is login. And button type is equal to reset. This is what? Cancel. What is advantage of this is you can keep anything here. Suppose I link relation, style sheet, and href. It is node modules and bootstrap icons, fonts, bootstrap icon.css. And see here, For login, I'm adding a span class bi person fill, and you can see it will display like that. We can put an image also inside. You can write an img inside. It's just like a div. You can put images, you can put different types of icons. This is not possible. This is not possible in HTML4. In HTML5 buttons, you can do that. So they will allow anything inside. You see, I am writing cancel. Instead of cancel, I am using an image. Image source is some public. We have images, some a2.jpg, some width and height, and you can see a small image will come there. A small image is here. We can put anything inside the button. And but remember, functionality is same. You return some username, password. You click the second button. It is a reset button. It will reset the form. You entered some username and password, login. It will submit the form. Functionalities are same, but only the difference is they have a image or icons or complex data. So which one is best? If you are looking for plain content, then HTML4 is best, because HTML5 buttons will take time to load. They are heavy. They occupy more space in memory because they are containers with some graphics, images, take time. If you are creating a simple form, you don't want any graphics or anything, just simple plain submit cancel, then go with HTML4. If you want icons, images, little complex buttons, then you can go with HTML5, right? So you can keep any content inside them. So roughly here, I will remove that. I will copy that and keep it here. This is example of HTML5. We have two examples, HTML4 and HTML5. Here one important note here is, if button type is not defined for HTML5 button, then the default type is submit. That means if button type is not mentioned, then automatically by default it acts as submit. Automatically it is going to work as submit button. So that means if you write a button, some click, this is the button. What is its type? Its type is what? Submit. If you don't mention the type, it is considered as submit type. That is the reason you have seen all these days, I just written a button and it's submitting. Why it is submitting? Even you don't mention the type as submit, because the default type is submit. So that is how you can submit. Next important, after understanding this, we have another important is generic buttons. Non-generic buttons. Non-generic buttons. Non-generic buttons are not configured with any predefined functionality. That means you have to write the functionality. They don't work. You can just design them, they don't work. They are not configured with any predefined functionality. So you have to write the functionality with your languages, with your JavaScript, jQuery, Angular, React, and all. These buttons are plain buttons without any functionality. For example, here also two techniques are there. HTML4 non-generic is input type, you have to give button. value, some print. Like this we are defined. And HTML5, we have to write button type as button. Here you can have text or image, or you can have graphic, anything. That's the option. So that is how we can configure a non-generic button. So non-generic button don't have any functionality. They don't have any functionality. So the functionality for these buttons is defined by using our JavaScript or jQuery or any front-end language. So you see, we are writing here a button. Actually, this is input type as button, and its value is if you don't give any value, it looks empty button. That's an empty button. Submit and reset buttons have default value. Submit, reset words will be there. For this, we have to give the value, some print. So that is a button. And this is not going to do any work. It's not going to do any work. We have to write manually the functionality. HTML5 also same, but what is extra is HTML button here can have some span, class, bi. So printer. So I define printer, then it looks like this. Both are normal buttons. They don't have any predefined functionality. We generally write with JavaScript. So if you want to create your own buttons and write some functionality for them, then use these buttons. If you want buttons which have to submit the form or reset the form, then you have to do that by using what? Generic buttons. So this is generic and non-generic. Example I will give you here. Let's copy this. This is all about working with buttons, different types of buttons. So you have two types of buttons. What are those? Generic and non-generic. What is difference? Generic are predefined in functionality. Non-generic, they are not defined with any functionality. We have to manually configure them. And you can create using HTML4 or 5 version. HTML4 are good. They are lightweight. They are faster in rendering. But they don't support graphics or images or symbols. If you want them, then you design by using HTML5 buttons. Right? These are all the elements that we have in form. That means now you learned all the form elements, how to handle them. Let me give you the summary. What are the elements you learned? Starting with which element? Form. After that, you learned about input. This input have lot of types. Like what? Text. It will have like number. It have like password. It have like email. It have like URL. It have like checkbox. It have like radio. Input is configured with a lot of things. It have like color. It have like file. These are all input related options. You learned about how do we use a select. You learned about how to use an OPT group. And you learned about how to use an option. You learned about a data list, how to create a data list. You learned about how to use a text area. And you learned how do we define another meter. You learned about progress, and you learned about button. All these are the different form elements. So in input, you learned so many types. And these are all the important elements you need to design a good form. So maximum these elements are used. But one important thing you should learn, which I will show you today, is anywhere in the world, wherever the web designing is happening, in your Java, .NET, PHP, front-end UI, anywhere, only these are used. But they may not be used in the same way. So that means in many websites, what they do is they change the appearance of these elements in such a way that you will feel like it is something new. But remember, any form must be designed only with these. But appearance may be different. That appearance depends on their CSS, bootstrap and all. For example, I will show you. Many people, when they watch different websites or screens, they come with this question. Like I will show you display settings. Yeah. Suppose I will show you here. So what is this element? What is this element? Checkbox element. So what is this element? Button. What is this element? Input type, range. Range na? What is this element? That is also a checkbox. That's a checkbox. But they changed the appearance in such a way that you feel like something new. But it is not new. It is input type checkbox only. They changed it appearance in this way by using CSS and all, which I will show you now. We will see how to create that. That means you will see so many designs in a form. And remember, any design in the world for form must be done by using only these. There is nothing extra. They have to create with only this because they don't have anything else. HTML provides only this, but they modify them. They add some more graphics into them. They add some more styles into them and they change appearance. Due to that, a learner is confused. He thinks that how this element came. I haven't learned this in my HTML. That means he missed this topic. Right? He ignored this topic. He is not telling everything to us. That's generally the mindset you will have and you will get immediately that point. But everything you have learned, only the point is it is not used in the same way how you learned. They can modify it. Due to that, you will be confused. Even lot of programming technologies are same. You will learn in one way, but in real world, they use in different ways. Due to that, you may be confused that how to design that. But it can be easily done. I will show you now. What you are going to see today is how we can make a form, a real world form with good graphics, good appearance and more advanced settings. For that, what you have to do is you have to learn about bootstrap forms, form classes. Bootstrap forms. I will give you the concept of bootstrap forms. So already you are using bootstrap icons. But now today we will install one more library. This library will teach you how to design very good forms interface. We will see that. See. What are bootstrap forms? Nothing but actually bootstrap library provides a set of classes which are predefined with styles with styles suitable for form elements and buttons. You can say form elements because all will come. Bootstrap library provides a set of classes. These classes so having predefined styles suitable for form elements. So you can make your form more interactive by using Bootstrap form classes. We can do that by using Bootstrap form classes. So, but how to use these classes? That means, for example, you want to give some gap above, gap below. Earlier, how you write? You write margin top 10 pixel, margin bottom 10 pixel, like that. But now Bootstrap provides ready-made shortcuts. By using them, you can easily design a form, you can easily apply some styles, and you can make your pages more effective. I will show you them. Let's see. How to get this? To get this, first what you have to do, you have to install Bootstrap core library into project. That you can do by writing this command npm install bootstrap and save. Already you installed Bootstrap icons. Now you install one more extra. And you need to install this Bootstrap. npm install bootstrap. npm install bootstrap. Once you install this Bootstrap, you have to link one file. Bootstrap core library is defined in CSS file. And what is that CSS file? It is in node modules. In that you will find Bootstrap. In that you will find dist. In that you will find CSS. In that there will be bootstrap.css. This is the file. You know the location of Bootstrap icons file. Bootstrap icons file is present in node modules, Bootstrap icons, in that font, in that Bootstrap icons.css. But Bootstrap is present in this location. After you install, you have to link this file. That means from hereafter, you need to link two files. One is icons file, another one this Bootstrap. Let's see what will happen when you link this file. What will happen when we link the file? Observe carefully. Let's install this now. I will install that library. I will install the library from the terminal. You need to run the command. What is it? npm install what? Bootstrap and save. We are downloading and installing the Bootstrap library. Okay, that is done. Now let's design one page. I will create a page here in our public folder. I am adding a page, some bootstrap form.html. Okay. Now here I am designing a simple HTML page and form design. This is form design something. And see here, I am writing some heading. So register user. I'm just writing this. Observe carefully now. I will run. You see, this is the actual design. That means that is how it looks like. That's the original appearance. Let's link the Bootstrap here. Observe carefully how it looks like. And now we will link bootstrap. Link relation is equal to style sheet, href. It is in node modules, // node modules in that bootstrap. In bootstrap, dist is called distribution. In that you have CSS. In that bootstrap.css. Bootstrap.css. Immediately when I link this, you see automatically some appearance changed. Anything you can observe? So what changed? Font style changed. And not only that, some alignment also changed. Left margin, very less left margin is there. That means automatically Bootstrap has some effects which are working. Interestingly, you see, suppose I am writing here a data list. I am writing a data term, user name. I will put a data definition. Input type is what? Text. And see the interesting part, data term is automatically bold. You can see it is bold. Earlier we have to write that, but automatically it is working because Bootstrap has some effects and those effects are working. But Bootstrap specialty is it will provide ready-made classes. By using the classes, you can format a page very fast. It's very easy and very fast to design a page. How? I will show you. First, to design a perfect basic page, you need to learn about Bootstrap classes. You need to learn about Bootstrap classes. In the classes, first important, we have container classes. So, what are the container classes? We will see first. Container classes are nothing but they are used for keeping your content correctly fit on the page. That means contents will correctly fit on the page with left margin, right margins and all. You have ready-made classes like container. We have like container. Class means it will start with dot. Container. We have SM. Container LG. So container MD. So MD. I will give order. SM, MD, LG. Yeah. Like this. LG. And container XL, and we have container XXL, and we have container fluid like this. These are ready-made classes used for containers. Containers means you can use for div, you can use for body where you are keeping. What is difference is actually this container SM is good for mobile. If you are targeting your design to a mobile, then you keep it as container SM. If you are targeting to tab-like device, then you use MD. If you are targeting PC, then you use LG. You are targeting like laptop, then use XL. Laptop only, but wide screen, then you have to use XL. Fluid means responsive. What is responsive means? The responsive means it will adjust according to device. So that is better. If you give others, they will be suitable only for those screens. And if you give fluid, it will adjust according to device. According to the device. For example, you see now here, where to apply them? You can apply for a body. What is the class? Class is what? Container SM. Like this you can apply. You can apply for any div. like container fluid. Like this, you can apply for any containers. So depending on what is the target of your page, you have to use these container classes. First, you install Bootstrap. After that, link the Bootstrap to your page. Then you try applying these classes. Now you see here, currently you can see this is completely left side. There is no gap at all. Then I will do one thing. For the body section, I will apply class container SM. When I apply container SM as a class, you see some lot of gap is there. Now you will see that left margin is adjusted for this content. Not only left, right, everything will be adjusted. But this is suitable for only mobile-like device. Better what you do is, you can use container what? Fluid. It will be according to the design. According to the screen, it will adjust. That is the best way to configure your options. This is the first important class. These are all under which category? Containers. Okay. Next, you will see very important special is margins. Margins. How we can keep containers? Margin class. So, we have margin related classes. Earlier, to apply margins, we have to write. Now you can simply apply the classes. We can apply the classes. Actually, for margin, you have M. M is all directions. You have MS. This is left margin. Actually, S equal to start. We have ME. This is right margin. So E is equal to end. We have MT. This is top margin. We have MB. This is bottom margin. Bottom margin. Like this, you can define margins. You write M, it will be margin all directions. You write MT, that means it will be margin top. But the question is, how much margin? Generally, when you write margin, you have to mention pixels. Na? 10 pixel, 20 pixel. Actually, here, margin will have size. Size can be 1 to 4. You can set size 1 to 4 maximum. That means M4. That means margin 4. Or MT4. That means you can write all. For all of them, size will be there. How you can write? M and 4. This indicates which margin? This indicates margin. Margin what? Top. How many points? 4. Maximum you can give 4. And they are limited. If you want more margin, then you write manually. If you are satisfied with these values that they provide, you apply them. Majority, these are enough in some situations. Sometimes they may not be enough. If they are not enough, you write. So, because remember, in software development, why we need to learn all these? Because as much as possible, we need to design in a faster way. We cannot waste our time in designing. So as much as possible, apply shortcuts and design in a faster way. Because software development is not a talent show. Software development is a business. Software development is a business. It is not a talent show. That means how much hard work you have done, nobody cares. Whether you done the work given to you or not, that is only matters. That is the reason, don't waste time in showing up your skills. Nobody cares. You just do your work and go home. Don't involve in everything. Because in the beginning days, when you go to interviews, they will ask, how you will be helpful for my company. Then you people in the beginning, you are very excited. You will tell that I will dedicate my life. I will die for your company. Right? That is all complete nonsense because company never dedicate themselves to you. Even you work for a company for 20 years. Next project, they don't have work for you. They will kick you out. They don't give even a send off party to you. They even ask you, don't come home, don't come to office, stay at home. We will send your laptop through your courier. They don't even ask you to visit the office again. That means they are very harsh because they are doing business. They are doing business. You people in the beginning days, very excited, right? Then you see in the first year, people get best employee of the year. You know, only first year. After that, no. Why? Because they are very excited to do work. You will take photo in selfie with my company, Facebook upload. Selfie with my cabin, Facebook upload. You see senior people, they don't do that. You will put that lunch with my team, right? Dinner with my team. Only first year you will do. After that, you don't have time for that because they will squeeze you, they will twist you in such a way that whenever time comes, you will say that I will go and sleep. Understood? That means you don't have time. First year, they will leave you because you have to enjoy software job. After that, you will feel that software. After that, every day you will feel it, right? This is what software is. But if you are good in your skills, you will enjoy it. If you are not good, then you will feel. And remember, we should not waste time in designing. We should do the work with the given time period and as much fast as possible, as much shortcuts as possible. So that means don't show up your skills. They don't care. That means you cannot say that I worked hard 10 days, I designed it. They will say that why you wasted your time. So just use this, you can design in 1 hour. So don't waste time in writing all. That is the reason Bootstrap becomes very, very important in web design, because it will keep the designs very perfect with simple techniques, very fast designs. See now how we can apply the margins. Suppose I want to adjust this little bit down, register user little bit down, then what you do? You have to just use the option. So let's put this in a form. I will keep that in a form. Okay. In a form, we have register user. Now what we will do is, for this form, I'm just adding a class margin top 4, and you can see automatically top margin adjusted. Some gap will come. I want some margin between these two. Then what we will do is, I will go to the data term. This is data term now. I'm using class margin bottom. How much? Some 4. And you can see some gap will come. Earlier, what you should do? You have to write a class, put a style, write the effect, margin and all. Now just you are applying one word. You are just applying a class. And just you need to configure margin 2, bottom 2, some less gap. Maximum you can give 4. If you want more than that, you have to manually write. So these are ready-made classes which makes the margins easy to design. You can apply these classes. Now same, you have padding classes also. Padding classes, you have P, all directions. And we have PS, we have PE. This is padding left, and this is padding right, and padding top, and we have padding bottom. Padding bottom. and the size is same. We can configure the size hyphen size. Size for padding is same. You can give the padding all directions 1 to 4. So you have margins and you have padding. So we can give the margins, you can give the paddings in a very faster way, shortcut. Next, important, you can give border classes. You have border and size. Size can be 1 to 3 maximum. And we have border contextual. Contextual means actually colors. We have primary, secondary, danger, warning, so success, info, like that. These are contextual colors. That means you have to write border primary, border secondary, border danger, like that. Danger means red color, success means green color, and warning means yellow color. Like that, it will have ready-made colors. We have to just apply the contextual. We call them as context-based colors, contextual colors. So border, you can set here. We can have rounded. Rounded is nothing but radius. We have rounded and size. Size here you can give 1, 2, 3 again. We have like rounded pill and we have like rounded circle. These are the classes related to border. By applying these classes, you can easily set the effects. Borders and all you can easily affect. Let's see how they work. These are all border related classes. So let's see how these work. For example, I am writing here. This is the form. You see there is a form. And actually in that form, suppose there is another, I will create a simple one for you. Means first I need to make you understand the effects. I will put a paragraph. Let me copy some paragraph so that you can first understand the appearance. Then we can apply in a form. Okay, I will copy this paragraph and put it in the page. Yeah. And now see here, this is the paragraph we are having. Now, what I am doing for this paragraph, observe, I am just adding a class as border. And you can see that automatically you can observe a small border will come. Very slight line is there. We want the thickness for border. Then you have to apply space, border size 3. Then you can see little thicker will come. I want color for border. Then simply you can apply border hyphen primary. And you can see that this is the border color. And you just change border success. Then you can see different color. You change border danger. Then you see different color it will apply. Now I want margin top, margin left. Then what you do? MT, margin top 2, MS, margin left 2. You see margin top and left. I want margin top 4. Then you can see margin top is 4. I want padding, all directions padding. All directions means you can simply put P4. P4 means all directions padding will be there. I think you see the padding. Suppose I want only padding top, then padding top 2, only top padding will be there. I want padding S2, padding left 2. You can apply only padding, only top and only left. There is no bottom padding. If you want all directions, then you can simply apply. You can simply apply P. That means you can simply apply P. So all directions, it will apply some padding. These are very simple. You don't need to write much. Just apply those simple characters. So this can be done. And see now here, I given another class rounded. All classes are added with spaces. And rounded, you can see some rounded corner will come. Suppose I'm adding rounded pill and you will see that it will come like this. That depends on your content. So you are adding rounded circle, then it will display like this. But it is not suitable for this, right? Here I am just using rounded and some size. It will display. Let's put one image here. I will put an image source. It is in images, some image, some I say fashion 1, width is 200, height also 200. You see there is an image. And for this image, we apply class margin top as 3. It will have some gap, and see now rounded circle. And you can see it will display like this. It's very easy to apply effects. It's very fast. You don't need to write any style and all options. Just apply class. These are the ready-made classes you can configure. So syntactically here I am defining how you can configure. Suppose you have a paragraph class. Margin top 3, margin bottom 3, margin start some 2, margin end 2, and we have padding 4, all directions. We have border, we have border danger, we have border 2, and we have rounded, so 4 or 3, like this you can define. Suppose you are writing for an image. SRC is some images fashion.jpg and width is 200, height is 200. Just put a class as rounded circle. That's what I showed you just now. If you want, you can keep border, padding and everything. These are the ready-made classes for margins, padding, border. These are regular required contents. Whenever you are designing a form or any content, first you should keep the margins correctly, you should keep the padding correctly, and you should apply the borders. That's the reason these are very basic requirements everywhere. So you learned containers, you learned margins, you learned padding, and you learned borders without manually writing them with styles, by just applying the classes. But these classes will not work if you are not linking the Bootstrap CSS file. And Bootstrap CSS file you will get only after downloading Bootstrap, right? That's important. Okay, now let's see the important elements here. Next important, another is width and height classes. Width and height classes. Actually, for that you have W and size. We have H and size. They are very simple. Width we have 0. Actually, it will have 25. It will have 50. and it will have 100. Only these will be there. Height 0, height 50, and height 100. Only 3 will be there. So others not available. That means you cannot give 20, you cannot give 30, you cannot give 60, 70, 45, nothing. Only this. You can give either width 25, 50 or 100. For example, you see here, this paragraph, I want to adjust. Original size of this is this. I want this paragraph only half of page. Then what you do? For that paragraph, you have to apply the class as W50. Remember, these classes don't have any order, any place you can write. That means there is no order for writing the classes, right? And 50 will be like this. You want full, then you have to put how? 100. It will fit. You want suppose 25, then it will keep 25. Suppose I am giving 40 and you can see no 40. You can apply only the breakpoints. Breakpoints are exactly what they are mentioning. Others not possible. These are width and height for elements you can configure. Okay, next important, we have button classes. We have button classes. These are so many and very, very important. Button classes, we have a special appearance for buttons. If you want buttons in a special appearance, you can apply these BTN contextual. Contextual means colors. Primary, secondary, danger, warning, success, info, all these comes under contextual. Everywhere contextual is same. So here we have BTN outline contextual. You have BTN SM, BTN LG, small and large buttons. You have BTN group. We have BTN group, BTN group SM, and BTN group LG, small and large. You have BTN toolbar. You have BTN close, and you have BTN link. These are the button related classes. I will show you how they look like. So the first one is the base class. This is the base class for buttons. This is the button base class. That is actually the button base class. Others are nothing but same, and these are special buttons actually. Others, their name itself tell what they are. Contextual means what? We can give like primary, dark, danger, secondary, warning, like that. Outline contextual also same. SM means what? Small. LG means what? Large. We have one more option, BTN group vertical. I can add at the bottom BTN group vertical. Button group vertical. This is actually BTN group horizontal group of buttons, and this is small group, and this is large group. And toolbar is expanded responsive toolbar. expanded responsive toolbar. This is for close button. This is button like a link. And this is vertical group. These are all the buttons. Outline contextual is nothing but it is outline button. Outline is nothing but, suppose if I have to tell about this, that means outline means without fill color. Without fill color is outline. Fill color is normal. Usually outline is a without fill color. These are all button related classes. Okay, let's see how they look like, how they work. So we will design. All these are button related classes. Now let's clean up this content I have. Okay. Now in this, I'm first adding some navigation, just data list with the term ordinary button. Ordinary button. Data definition, I will keep a button. This is suppose submit. Actually, a button looks like this. We know that. That is ordinary button. Okay, let's see. Let's see here. Button base class. Actually, you have a button and it is a submit and a class BTN. That is the base class. Base class will appear like this. Actually, this is a button, but you see on hold down, it will show like this. That means it removes border, it removes fill color, it will put a rounded. These are base classes. So now let's go and add here contextual. Contextual buttons. I will show you contextual buttons. You have a button insert. You have a button delete. So you have a button some update like that. Now these are general buttons. All are ordinary buttons. Now see what I am doing for this class BTN. BTN is base class. If you don't give BTN, then border will be there, right? So if you give BTN, border will be removed, button appearance will come. After that, button primary. Okay. For this, I will put BTN and BTN danger. This is for danger. And I will put here BTN, BTN what? Success. And you can see the buttons will be like this. You have a ready-made appearance for buttons. This is a primary button. This is a danger. This is success. You have different colors and appearances for button. Okay, let's go to the another option. Another is outline contextual. Outline contextual is nothing but same buttons I will copy. But this time I am adding a class like this. BTN outline primary, BTN outline danger, and BTN outline success. And you see now they look like this. These are outline buttons. That means on mouse over, automatically they have a functionality. They have a functionality. Okay, let's do another one. You usually have button group horizontal. Actually, here I am keeping these three buttons and I am not giving outline. I will keep general, primary, danger, and success. Usually these three buttons are like this. But I want these three buttons combined. Then what you can do is in which container you keep them. The container is this data definition. Here we have to apply BTN group. Automatically, you can see they are grouped now. They are connected to each other. That is a button group you can connect. And interesting is, if you give same color, you will not feel like they are buttons. That means I will show you another one. This time, this is not horizontal. What it is? Vertical. Just give BTN group vertical. Vertical. And all I am giving BTN danger only. All are BTN danger. All are BTN danger. And you can see that vertical group will be like this now. That's the vertical group. These are 3 buttons actually. Those are 3 buttons with 3 different appearances here. Means you can put different colors if you want. So you have primary, contextual, group, horizontal, vertical. Observe here. At the top I will add, because it is scrolling down here. I will add here special buttons. Special buttons are nothing but you have button. You can apply a class BTN close. This is a special button. You can apply a button as sign out. And for this, you can apply class BTN link. These are special buttons. You use BTN close and BTN link. You can see that buttons will look like this. That means close button is having cross symbol. That is a close button. Automatically symbol comes. And sign out looks like a link. We can apply the base class also. Base class, because to remove border which class? BTN. And you can see that it will be like this. This is not a link. This is a button only. That is a button but looks like link. These are special buttons. So we can have all these. I given the list of all of them. You have size for the button. Suppose you see for this button, suppose primary button, I will use danger BTN SM small. And you can see that button will be small. Suppose we want a large button, then we can add BTN what? LG. LG is large button. This is the ordinary button, first one. This is small and this is large. There is a special option. Actually, you have button toolbar. I will show you here. I will class margin top 3 and I will add another one, toolbar. Toolbar is, see, I'm adding like this. Data definition. Okay. And you see now, here we are having one div. So in this div, I'm having a button. This button have a class. So BTN some danger. We have BTN and BTN danger. This is like I say home. This is like I say about. So, and another one is contact. Like this, we have 3. Okay, there is another division. In this division, I am defining a button. And you know how to apply icons. To apply icons, I am linking another one. Link relation is what? href. Href is what? Node modules, bootstrap, icon, font, icon dot CSS. And see now, in this button, I am adding a span, class BI search, something. And we will add another button. And here we given some like BI heart fill something. And here we define BI person fill. And all these buttons have the same class BTN and BTN danger. I will copy this for all the buttons. Observe here, currently at the top you are having 2 combination. home, about, contact, and symbols are there. See what we are doing. We will group the first category, second category. How to group them? For first category div, we will put btn what? Group. For second category also we will apply. What is it? btn group. Then you see two groups are there. And very interesting here is, so they are present in data definition. For that we will apply a class btn toolbar. After that we will apply bg danger. Bg danger is background. Background danger. You see it looks like a toolbar. You know, one we want left side, another we want right side. For that what we have to do? Display flex. Justify content space between. See, you can apply with classes. We can simply apply dflex. That is display flex. And simply justify content between. You write directly that. You can see that it is going to apply. Just by adding the classes we can do. Display I will tell you. Display related classes separately I will tell. But this is a button toolbar. Usually button toolbars are created like this. These are like a navigation bar. These are all Bootstrap related buttons. Button related classes. Now similarly, you have text box, radios, checkbox, separate classes, so that we can design a good form that we will see in next session. Right? Tomorrow we will discuss other classes about forms. Then we will design a good real-time form by using all these. Then forms. Okay? Tomorrow we'll continue. This example I will upload. Whatever classes are there.